You are watching the area's best sports.
Good evening and thank you kindly for joining us. For the first time this year, the Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championship ventured east for the 39th UPMC Sports Medicine High Point National. Some of the world's fastest riders invaded Mount Morris, Pennsylvania, looking to distance themselves in the point standings as the season nears its midpoint. We started all off with the 450cc Moto 1. Ryan Dungey had a pretty comfortable lead in the class. Not the start he wanted, though. He'd begin Moto 1 in 6th place. Number 51, Justin Barja, would get the whole shot. The JGR Yamaha rider would have the early advantage with several riders nipping on his heels in the early going. A few laps later, you see number 5, Dungey, a chain link behind Barja and gaining ground. Dungey would eventually take over as the lead rider with Rockstar Energy rider Christophe Pourcel and RCH Racing's Ken Roczen not far behind. Roczen would wind up taking over 2nd place. The German is quite accustomed to High Point and American racing as well, and he and his Suzuki would finish the moto in 2nd. And there was no catching Red Bull KTM's Ryan Dungey. He would build a 10.2-second lead, and he never looked back. Meanwhile, Pourcel on bike number 377 would finish 3rd in Moto 1. Pourcel had previously won High Point in the 250 class and was the fastest qualifier on the day. And you see Dungey taking the checkered flag for 1st place in Moto 1. Great points for him, but could he do it all over again? So all eyes on number 5, Ryan Dungey for Moto 2. He's looking for his 3rd overall win at High Point and his 1st since 2012. Another great start for Barja, but it is Pourcel taking the motosport.com whole shot. But Pourcel would have trouble mounting behind him as it's Ken Roczen moving past him early for the lead. Dungey not too far behind the pair, and that'd be the story in this one. Roczen and his Suzuki out in front with Dungey, no more than 3 seconds behind. They keep that margin for almost the entire race. Meanwhile, Pourcel would fall behind Rockstar Energy Husqvarna teammate Jason Anderson and eventually Barja, so Pourcel would wind up in 5th in the moto and take 4th overall with a 3.5 finish. Barja ended 5th overall with a 5.4 finish, and the rookie Anderson claimed his 3rd podium finish on the young season, going 4 and 3 to end in 3rd. And as I mentioned, that battle for 1st was hot throughout. No more than 3 seconds separated Roczen from Dungey until the final lap. And Roczen will take High Point going 2-1. Dungey finished 1-2, so he keeps his point spread in the standings, but Roczen is victorious today. That is Roczen's 1st overall win since last season when he won it all.
It's great. You know, we've been looking for that for quite a while, and first moto, it didn't work that great. And but it was the first time that I rode the same suspension setting in both motos, so that helped out a lot. And didn't really get the start in the first one too, so it was definitely one of the warmer races we've had this year. But yeah, it was great. You know, they made some changes on the track that was kind of cool, and overall, you know, I always like to come here. I was hoping for a little bit of rain, you know, would have been cool because I like the mud, but man, I'm stoked about that overall.
And we start the 250cc races off with some beauty. The Lucas Oil girls always doing just a fine job. Red Bull KTM's number 25, Marvin Musquin, would grab the whole shot to open the first moto, and it was "I'll see you later" from then on out. No one is going to touch him. Monster Pro Circuit Kawasaki rider number 50, Adam Cianciarella, would gain ground and eventually overcome number 80, RJ Hampshire in the 2 spot on lap 5. It was a rough start for class points leader Jeremy Martin. The Yamalube Star Racing Yamaha number 1 started in 10th and had issues gaining ground until the end. Hampshire riding the number 80 Geico Honda would have a tough go-around with some other riders as well. With Cianciarella cemented in 2nd, Jeremy's teammate and older brother Alex Martin is going to pass Hampshire as well. Jeremy Martin would make a late push, nearly taking 3rd from Alex, but number 31 is going to hold less than a second over Little Bro to get a podium win in Moto 1. And Musquin was riding on easy street the whole way. Musquin claims 1st in Moto 1 by over 5.5 seconds, retaking the 250 points lead and claiming his 5th moto victory in Moto 1. So the pressure was mounting for Marvin Musquin. The points lead could swap for the 2nd time of the day should he not perform well. Not the start he wanted. The whole shot goes to number 16 Rockstar Energy Husqvarna rider Zach Osborne, but that first lap is the only one Musquin wouldn't lead on the day. He takes control after the first lap, leaving Osborne closely behind with Monster Pro Circuit Kawasaki rider Joe Savacci in 3rd. Jeremy Martin would start this one even worse than the first race. all the way back in 19th, but he would catch up and even pass big brother Alex midway through the race. Jeremy Martin would climb as high as 4th for the second straight moto. His 4-4 finish was good enough to tie Alex in points, but he owned the tiebreaker for the final podium spot. Osborne would take second, tallying 5-2 finishes. Savacci third, finishing 6-3 on the day. And once again, it's Musquin taking the checkered flag with a heel touch to cap it off. 6 seconds better than the rest, and he earns him his second 1-1 sweep of the season to stay first in the points race. Musquin wins his second High Point National and first since 2013.
I mean, it's the key to get the best start and be leading the race. That's the key to and the best way to win a moto. So when you're leading, you know, you have no one in front of you, and you can pick your lines. And because when you're in the pack, you know, you gotta pass those guys, and you gotta try different lines, left, right. So it's a lot of energy, you know. So when you're leading, it's a lot better.
So here are the updated standings with their moto finishes for the day. First in the 450 class, Ryan Dungey keeps the 37-point spread as the leader through 5 races. Ken Roxon, Jason Anderson, Justin Barja, and Blake Baggett all leap Eli Tomac to round out the top 5 in points. Tomac suffered an injury earlier this year and is out for the rest of the season. And we have a new points leader in the 250 class. Marvin Musquin moves from 6 points down to leading Jeremy Martin by 8 points. Jesse Nelson remains a distant third. Adam Cianciarella closes out in 4th, and Joey Savacci in 5th. We'll hear more from the winning riders tomorrow night at 11. And in the major leagues, Pittsburgh Pirates looking for the series win over Philadelphia at PNC Park today. The Bucks have a 3-1 lead in the top of the second. Andrew McCutchen places one up the middle. That's a nice play by Chase Utley, but Starling Marte will beat the play at second base, and that allows Chris Stewart to score, and that run would be the difference. Pirates go on to win 4-3. And the Greenbrier field continues to grow as 6-time PGA Tour winner Bill Haas, rising star Matt Every, and former Masters champion Trevor Immelman will compete at the Old White TPC this July. And that'll do it for sports. Stick around because we'll have more news and more weather after the break.